In the face of certain facts, certain situations, we are helpless. But we are never helpless with regards to how we carry ourselves towards those facts or situations. When we are anxious, frustrated, angry, impatient, hurt, ashamed, afraid, what else? Stressed. Because of the subtle forms of antagonisms we perceive in the everyday interactions we engage in. These feelings are evoked when we are confronted with, hypocrisy, disloyalty, ill will, ignorance, malice. When we are YouTube users confronted with trolls, or when we are a waiter working at a restaurant who is confronted with rude customers, or a shop assistant confronted with impatient customers. So these feelings are evoked, these negative feelings, but they will be full-fledged, or they will hold sway over us overwhelmingly only when we engage these interactions directly, because by directly engaging these interactions, we feed a certain dynamic that will envelop ourselves within a horizon of expected behavior that will structure the way we relate to these situations, that will structure the way our feelings will be organized and invested in these situations. So this horizon that is enveloping us will structure how we relate, and it will structure the process of our relation. And this structure can take the form of a battle of power, a battle of dominance, where we try to save face and we try to stand our ground verbally, intellectually, or in whatever way. And most of the time this is covert, but sometimes it's overt how we wrestle verbally and intellectually with others. But spending our energies this way is not an economical practice, but we can be economical and we can disengage somewhat from these interactions, from the dynamics of these interactions, when we ascend to another level of engagement, when we ascend to the level of observation, when we try to observe the actual dynamics that takes place between us and the others. And this can be done, I think, not only in interpersonal matters, but also in intrapersonal matters, that is within ourselves. When, for example, we have a headache or a bellyache, or we are freezing because it's very cold outside. Now we can relate to these. We can relate to these experiences by not trying to overcome them, but by trying to really dwell in them, trying to really feel these feelings, if that makes sense, to try and feel or touch their contours, and that way engage them not directly but indirectly by observing these feelings, the same way as with the interpersonal, as in the interpersonal situations. We can do that. Now, one subset of these dynamics that structure our relations to situations and that can cost much energy is when we have a goal in mind. Because having a goal in mind will frame everything that happens. This goal, this aim, will be an anchoring point, a kind of an absolute against which everything will be measured that comes before achieving a goal. So the intervening events will be experienced or perceived to be positive or negative. If they hinder or further our progress to achieve these goals. And again, this will bias the way our feelings will be invested in these processes. For example, when I have the goal of achieving or arriving home earlier and I miss the bus, the goal is arriving home earlier, and the incident that comes before that hinders that goal, hinders the achievement of that goal, and that will be felt to be a negative thing. So missing the bus will evoke impatience and negative feelings in me. Or when the computer freezes, as it does nowadays a lot, I have to wait and I am impatient. Or when I have to take driving license lessons and I am afraid of the instructor because my goal is to be perfect. And I am not perfect. I have to learn. But still I am afraid of the instructor because I want to be perfect. And that's intervening from achieving the goal. So when in this situation, for example, my self-esteem is predicated on this logic of being good, of not being a learner. And our attention also can be predicated on, as I have said, our energies are biased in this system, Riseta, the system of interaction, or we try to achieve something. Okay, so being geared towards situations from an aesthetic level of engagement, where we are not totally implicated in the dance of dominance or in the dance of satisfying authority, things like these. And we realize, and where we realize the power of shifting perspective, that can be a very healthy thing, I think. Because in the face of certain facts, we are helpless. We are never helpless with regards to how we relate ourselves to those facts.